Cry so pow to the Critics' Choice PSN sale. I'm sorry these videos are delayed, but as you can probably tell, I'm dying a little bit, so I had to wait for my voice to recover enough to record, and let's hopefully get this recorded before I lose it completely. Anyway, I've gone through this sale for you, and I found a load of really cool games that are on really big discounts. So if you like the idea of finding cool new games to play, and saving a lot of money along the way, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, you're welcome here anytime. Now, this sale ends on the 25th of February, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up, we have A Plague Tale: Innocence. It was released in 2019, so it's 7 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £8.74, which is a pretty good deal, as this version includes both the PS4 and PS5 versions, and the PS5 version is enhanced with 4K resolution and 60 FPS gameplay, which is pretty cool. In this survival horror, you get to follow the grim tale of young Amisha and her little brother Hugo in an emotional story as they flee from Inquisition soldiers while surrounded by swarms of unstoppable rats, struggling to survive against overwhelming odds together. Now, this game was a pretty big deal when it came out. It was very popular and it did really well. It had no hype beforehand and it sort of came out of nowhere. That even spawned a sequel as well. And I kinda like that it's a bit different. It's not the usual zombies or other familiar tropes you see in a lot of horror games these days. It's nice to see something that mixes it up a bit, with especially the plague of rats being a really cool and interesting enemy, as you often see them being used kinda like an ocean or waves, pouring over everything and chasing down everyone. I think it's pretty cool and well implemented. So if you're a fan of survival horrors, and you like games with an emotional story, and especially if you like something a bit different, you'll probably really enjoy this. So if you're tempted, why not check it out? I think it's a really cool game that a lot of people will enjoy. And hey, if you never played a survival horror before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. It's a really good game, on a pretty good deal, but it's still not that cheap. You can get other big AAA legendary games for this price or lower as well, so you're probably better off starting with one of them instead. But hey, if you've already played them, then check this out. But if not, don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss the other options when they're on sale next. Black Clover Quartet Knights Deluxe Edition is our next game. It was released in 2018, so it's 8 years old, and is on an 87% discount for the price of £6.88, which is a really great deal, as this edition includes the Season Pass of 3 content packs worth over £12, so you're getting the complete version of the game with a load of extra content included, which is really good, especially at this price. This third-person action game has an exclusive story fans of the show will absolutely love. You play as Astra with his friends who take part in 4v4 team battles, playing as a fighter, healer, support, or ranged class, working together to win the battle. Now, I'm not that familiar with the anime, but I have heard of it, so it must be a pretty decent franchise that's pretty popular. And considering the game's designed for fans of the show, with an exclusive story, I think fans of the show will love this game. And if you're not a fan of the show, then it's still a pretty good game, but you're not going to get the most out of it, and you'll probably be better off somewhere else. But hey, if you like these sorts of games, and you're a fan of Black Clover, and especially the Quartet Knights spin-off, then you'll probably enjoy this a lot. So if that's you, definitely take a look at it. But if you're not a fan of Black Clover, then check it out, but you might be better off with a different game instead. And hey, if you never played a third-person action game before, then I probably wouldn't recommend starting here. There's quite a lot of games in this genre, and you can get much bigger AAA legendary ones for about the same price as this, and even ones with a lot of different franchises attached as well. So especially if you're not a fan of Black Clover, you're probably better off starting with one of them instead. But if you are a big fan of Black Clover, then why not check this out? It might just be your first game in the genre you grew to love. We have another anime game next, Captain Tsubasa Rise of the New Champions Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 6 years old, and it's on an 84% discount for the price of £7.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, as this edition includes the character pass of 9 additional characters and some cosmetics as well. In this football game, you get to play an arcade version of football with exhilarating action and over-the-top shots. Based on the popular anime, it features 2 story modes from the anime, team customization, players' skills and abilities, plus 4-player local and online multiplayer as well, which is really good, because if the online multiplayer is not that busy anymore, at least you can play locally with your mates, or family and friends, which is great. Now, I'm not familiar with this anime, but the game's got great reviews, and all in all, a lot of the animes that are based on a sport are usually pretty cool. I know there's a lot of boxing and basketball ones that are very popular, and just seem to do well in general. Anime really seem to be good at making sport-based series that are pretty popular and worth spending your time on, just like this game. It looks really cool, and the art style reminds me of the old school anime I used to watch as a kid. So if you're a fan of this anime, or maybe you just like football and you want something that's not FIFA, why not check this out? It's definitely different. You're not going to play many football games like this, and for people who are looking for that, it might just be the best game you've played in ages. So if you're a fan of football and you like the sound of this one, why not check it out? For the niche that are interested in this, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And hey, if you've never played a football game before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. If you're a big fan of anime and RPGs and that sort of thing, or you like character-based games with abilities, then why not check it out? It's different, but it's more in line with that stuff, so you'll probably have fun if that's the sort of thing you like. But if not, don't worry, there'll be plenty more games for you to choose from in this sale and future videos as well. Up next, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. It was released in 2022, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of $14.99, which is a pretty decent deal. Now, this game is PS5 only, and it includes the free DLC expansions, including new areas, mode, abilities, enemies, and more, which is all for free, which is great. You get a lot of extra content included with this, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can't ask for more, really. In this open-world ARPG, after Tokyo's population vanishes mysteriously and the streets are flooded with supernatural forces, you must use an arsenal of elemental abilities to fight the horrors and unravel the truth behind everyone's disappearance. Now, I remember this game coming out, and there wasn't a huge amount of hype leading up to it, but as it was coming out, Sony did push it last minute quite a bit, and it did kinda well. It got really good reviews, and it seemed to be pretty popular in general. And I personally really like the theming of this game. I like the look of the Japanese-inspired ghosts and demons that you fight, and a lot of the particle effects for the magic system looks really cool. It looks like a really flashy and visually impressive game. All in all, I just think it looks pretty cool. So if you're a fan of open world action games, and you like the idea of roaming Tokyo fighting supernatural enemies, then definitely take a look at this. PlayStation exclusives are usually pretty good quality, and the reviews say this is a good game. So if you're tempted at all, why not look at it? It's a little different, and I think it's a really good game. And hey, if you've never played an open world ARPG before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. It's a really good game from a really good studio and publisher, but it's still not that cheap right now. You can get much bigger AAA legendary games for half this price, so you're probably better off starting with one of them instead. But hey, if you really like the look of this, then take a look. But if not, there'll be plenty of more options for you to choose from in future videos instead. We have a VR game next, Kona VR Bundle. It was released in 2018, so it's 8 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is a really good price, as this bundle includes the PS4 and PS5 versions of Kona, plus the VR add-on that makes it fully playable in VR, on PSVR 1 only though, so you can't play the VR mode on PS5 with the PSVR 2. And even better news, it's Move Controller compatible, so it'll make it a lot more fun to play on the original PSVR. This adventure is set in the 1970s, where you play as a detective investigating a Canadian village as a strange blizzard ravages the area. With the village appearing deserted, you must survive long enough to explore and find out what happened, solving the mystery. Now, this seems like a really interesting VR game to me. I really like VR games, and the idea of investigating a mystery in VR is a really cool idea. Now, just be aware that this game is in a really creepy and eerie town with a snow blizzard, so there are mild horror elements to it. So if you're not a fan of that in VR, you might get creeped out a little. But other than that, I think it'll be a really good VR game. And it's really cheap as well. Plus, again, both the versions of the game that you can play in 2D, so if you don't end up liking the VR, you can play the game normally anyway. So if you're a fan of adventure investigation games, and you've got a PSVR 1, then you'll probably really enjoy this. And even without the VR mode, at this price, it's a pretty good deal. Definitely take a look. You might just have a lot of fun if you give it a chance. And hey, if you've never played an adventure game before, then you could start here. It's a pretty good game that's well reviewed at a really low price, so you can't ask for much more really. Especially if you've got a PSVR 1, you're getting really good value for money. So if that's the case, and you've always been tempted by this genre, then why not check it out? It's a really good option for a fair price with a lot of really cool features. Definitely take a look if you're tempted. We have a LEGO game next, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, PS4 and PS5. It was released in 2022, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £9.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal, as this includes both the PS4 and PS5 versions, and a huge amount of content. Now, keep in mind there's a deluxe and galactic version with more content included, but they're all character packs, which I would normally recommend for LEGO games, but the character packs in these versions are all for the newer Star Wars shows, or as I like to call them, the garbage that you shouldn't watch. So buy them at your own risk. Me personally, I wouldn't go near them at the barge pole. And if you're a real Star Wars fan, you probably won't be interested in those character packs either. But hey, if you want them, they're there. I just don't think it's worth it. In this action platformer, you get to play through 3 iconic movies, 3 now liked movies, and 3 insults to humanity across the entire official saga, with over 300 playable characters, piloting over 100 vehicles in large star battles, RPG elements, and 2-player local co-op as well, which is in all of the LEGO games, and it's really good. That's what they're known for really. They're a good game to play with kids, friends, or a partner, or even at parties. It's good drop-in, drop-out gameplay. Now, there's a load of LEGO games around, and they all play pretty much the same. They've got a lot of humour, they're all action-adventure platformers, and they're all pretty good. They're not the best games around, but what really carries them is the theming. So if you're a fan of Star Wars and you like LEGO, then this is a really good game for you. But if not, they've got so many other franchises attached to LEGO that there'll be a different game that you'll like instead. But hey, if you're into Star Wars, check this one out. You're getting a huge amount of games included, it's a mass amount of content, and it's just a really good deal. Check it out, you'll have a lot of fun with this one. And hey, if you never played an action platformer before, then you could start here, but I'm not sure I'd recommend it. It's a good deal, but you're getting a load of games, so if you don't like them, you're stuck with a lot of content you're never going to play. But in general, LEGO has a huge amount of franchises attached to it, so if you're not that sure on Star Wars, there are a load of other LEGO games that you'll probably enjoy more. But if you're really into Star Wars and action platformers, then take a look at this. As long as you're okay taking the risk on a load of game content that you might not play, then go for it. But if not, you will have other options for this price or lower in this sale and future videos as well. Up next is my star buy, Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. It was released in 2023, so it's 3 years old, but it was originally a Switch game from 2001, and it's on an 84% discount for the price of £7.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal, as this bundle includes the PS4 and PS5 versions of Rise and the Sunbreaker expansion. With 4K and 120 FPS support, it's a really good upgrade from the Switch version. Now, there is a deluxe bundle edition, but it only includes extra armor and cosmetics, so if you want that, you can get that version instead, but I don't think it's worth it, and I think this is the better deal. In this action RPG, you get to explore an open world full of huge monsters to hunt and defeat for glory and trophies, alone or with up to 4 friends online. It features character creation, customization, huge amounts of equipment, crafting, and tons more as well. Now, this franchise has been around a long time, so I shouldn't really have to introduce it to you guys, and it's even been really popular lately, with the modern versions being very popular. Pretty much the only one that's been a flop is the newest one, which was garbage from all accounts, and I would not recommend in general. But hey, if you played the Monster Hunter that was very popular, and you're looking for more, this is the next best thing. It was a Switch exclusive, so you probably never played it when it came out, and now it's been upgraded with a better version of it on proper hardware. So if you're a fan of the franchise and you haven't played this one, why not take a look at it? It's really good content, better than the newest one, and it's a good deal as well. Like I said, it's my star buy. It's well worth your time and money, I promise. And hey, if you've never played an action RPG before, then you could start here. It's from a huge franchise with real pedigree, and you get a lot of content for your money as well, at a really good price. So if you've always been tempted by this genre, or Monster Hunter in particular, then why not take a look at this? It's a cheaper offer than the other mainline games, and it's also a really good one as well. Plus it's still quite modern. So if you're tempted, pick it up. It might just be your new favourite game genre. Our next game is Warriors All-Stars. It was released in 2017, so it's 9 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £9.59, which is pretty good. Most of these games are usually pretty expensive, so this is actually quite a good deal for one from this franchise. In this hack-and-slash game, you get to play as characters from a variety of properties, each with their own unique attacks and hero skills in vast epic melee battles. It features 30 characters to play as, multiple endings, and a mixture of new and familiar game mechanics from the franchise. Now, back on PS2, when Dynasty Warriors first came out in the West, I absolutely loved it. Dynasty Warriors 2 and the few games after I played so much of. I put so many hours into those games, and I really liked them. They're a lot of fun. They may not be the most complicated games around, but there's just something really cool about wading through an entire army of enemies and mowing them down by the thousands. It's a lot of fun, especially the games where they added co-op. That was great. They should do more of that. And this game is basically a spin-off from that. Warriors was a spin-off from the Dynasty Warriors franchise, and this All-Star one is kind of what it says on the tin. It's a mixture of a load of content from a load of them, and it makes it just a really good game in general. So if you're a fan of this franchise, especially the Warriors spin-off, then you might want to take a look at this one. They're usually really expensive and they don't come that cheap, so if you're tempted, this is probably a good deal for you. So check it out if you like the sound of it as much as I do. And hey, if you never played a hack and slash game before, then you could start here. It's from a huge franchise and it's a really good example from the franchise, but also it's not for everyone. If you're not into hack and slash games, or you find them a bit repetitive, then this isn't for you. But if you've always been tempted by it, this is one of the best franchises around in the genre, so you can't ask for much more really. If you're tempted, why not start here and have a lot of fun? And the final game I have for you is XCOM 2 Collection. It was released in 2018, so it's 8 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the price of £7.49, which is a really good deal, as it includes the War of the Chosen expansion and 4 DLC packs as well, so you're getting the complete version of the game with everything included, which is really good. This turn-based strategy game is set in a world under alien rule where, against impossible odds, you must rebuild XCOM and ignite a global resistance to reclaim our world and save humanity from the brink of extinction. It features 5 classes, research and upgrades, plus 2-player online multiplayer as well. Although that might be pretty dead by now. No promises. Now, I really like turn-based strategy games. It's a pretty niche genre, but it's really fun, and if you're into this sort of thing, they're really good and addictive games. And XCOM is one of the biggest franchises around. It's been around a long time, famously difficult back in the day, and now just a really good AAA franchise from this genre. So if you're a fan of turn-based strategy games and you haven't played this XCOM, then why not check it out? It's one of the best turn-based strategy games around, and it's a big AAA example as well. So if you haven't played this one, check it out. You'll love it if you're a fan of the genre. And hey, if you've never played a turn-based strategy game before, then you could start here. It's more forgiving than the original games, but it's really big, AAA, and you just don't see a lot of big AAA turn-based strategy games these days. So if you're tempted, and you've always been interested in the turn-based strategy genre, then why not take a look at this? It's a really good example at a really good price, with a ton of content included. So why not check it out, if you like the sound of it? And that's all the games I have for the Critics' Choice PSN sale. I'd like to say I'm going to go and rest now, but I've got to record the audio for the next video and then get them both edited and out in the next 5 days. So, oh my god, we'll get there, I guess. Anyway, what did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it, or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your comments below and we can talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you found some really cool games to play, but more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.